Okay, throughout the semester, you're going to need to find various articles in order to finish up your assignments, including that very first assignment where you have to find those three specific articles. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. The university system provides us with a really extensive library and a library database online where we can pretty much get anything we want. This is something that is paid for in your fees, and you're going to hear me say this over and over and over again, that you should utilize this while you're a student or associated with the university. So it's already paid for. You get all of these articles for free. Never pay for an article while you're at a university, because that will, that's, you already pay for it. Don't do it. So this is how you need to find certain articles. So I'm going to go through the process of what I use to find articles, especially articles based on, say, the title of a particular article that I want. I do this when I am looking for articles, say, in the bibliography, or like for some of your assignments when I give you certain articles to find. As you go on in your careers as scientists, you'll hear people say, oh yeah, just go and read Yang 2010 or Archer 2003 or whatever it is, and you'll want to go and find that. So I'm going to use some of these papers that I have for you on this paper collection page, just because it gives me some really easy things to look for. So let's say I would like to find this one, Abiotic Environmental Factors Influencing Blowfly Colonization Patterns in the Field. Okay, so I want to find this particular article. So what I do is I will either go to Texas A&M or, and this one is my little hint, Google Scholar. Google Scholar is actually one of the best search engines out there because it's Google, of course, and that's what they focus on. Most university libraries try to come up with their own search methods, and I'll show you how that works in just a moment, but they're just not as robust or as powerful as Google. So when you first start looking for articles, I highly recommend going to scholar.google.com. So it's Google Scholar. Okay, and it'll open up a search bar right here. And if you just copy and paste the name of this article. Now you can do the whole thing, but that can cause some strange things to be kicked back. And I'll go into this a little bit more when I am showing you how to do a literature search. But what I like to do is just put in the title of the article and do a search. Most of the time, if I got the title spelled right, if it's something exactly like that, right, it'll come up as the only thing. Awesome. So here is that article, and you can always double check it. Going back, which one did I use? This one. So it was by Kelly George in 2013. Is that the one that we got? Look at that. K. George 2013. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now that this has come up, if you are logged in to Texas A&M on campus or their internet, then you will get this little link to the right here that'll go directly to the website where you can get the full article if it's available. Okay, now up at the top, you can just barely see it on my screen here. There's a register or sign in. If it says sign in like this, that means that you're not logged in. You probably don't have access to the full thing if it's not open access. Okay, so this one looks like it is open access. So I've got, oh, look at this, got all the stuff here. You can read the whole thing here. This tells you where it is. And this little link right here is to download the PDF. And then you can get the PDF. That's pretty straightforward. If for some reason you cannot find that PDF, or it says it's not available, or worse yet, you click on it and it says pay $29.95 for this thing, don't ever do that. This is where you can go to the library. So, like I said before, though, the library is a little finicky when it's you do your search. So you don't want to put too much into the library search bar. And especially, you don't want to put in any type of punctuation. So you'll see titles that have colons or semicolons or quotes or periods or something like that. That sends the university library search a little wonky. So I'm just going to copy and paste this title again into the main search when you go to library.tamu.edu. And then it's going to take a lot longer than Google does, of course. And it's going to come up, hopefully, with something that looks like this. Now, the reason that I'm only getting 1 or 2 responses to this is because I chose an article that doesn't have a lot of stuff in common with other titles. It was a very specific title. So you'll see here, you've got your full text. So if you click on the title, it'll take you to either the full text, or if we don't have automatic access to that full text, it'll take you to information on this title. But this is the full text. You can download it here in PDF format and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty straightforward and easy to deal with. The other neat thing about both using the library and using Google Scholar is this citation. So if you click on these quotes right here, you can copy and paste different really common citation types. So MLA, APA, etc. What we can also do is download the little magic bit of coding that will automatically populate this into your citation software. So in this case, remember, I like to use Endnote. You saw that video. If you click on Endnote, it'll download a little thing that you can then just open. And when I clicked on it in my download bar, it opened up my Endnote software automatically reads that. If this is the first time you're doing it, your computer might ask you, hey, what is this thing? What do you want it to open? And you'll have to tell it, open up Endnote or open up RisWorks or whatever else. But once you do that, it will automatically populate all of those fields in your citation management software with the information that you need. So here's the one I just opened. If I double click on that, it gives me all the information. So this will save hours and hours of text input time for you. And you'll notice that it's got Bibliotext or BibTeX, RefMain, RefWorks, and Endnote automatically right there. These are the 4 big reference management softwares out there. And some of these will actually work in other reference management softwares as well, because they're just it's basically like a text doc type of thing. It's pretty simple. So we have that there. So this is the simplest way of getting your papers. Just search for that title. Now let's go into something, maybe you don't have the full title. Maybe you just have, the last name and maybe something about the title. Let's say you have that. So this is how I do it. Again, I go to Google Scholar. This is just highly recommended. Whenever you talk to librarians in any university, they'll talk about going to the university library and opening up databases, and that handout I gave you is the official librarian way of finding these things in databases. Databases are basically large databases. They're bits of software that we pay for that reference or that archive a bunch of papers just across a bunch of different journals and things. The problem I found, again, is their search functions are really fiddly. They're not as robust or as focused as Google, and you can end up just pulling your hair out. So I'm trying to give you the way that I figured workarounds after having to spend many, many, many hours doing lit searches and things. So I go to Google Scholar, scholar.google.com again. Now let's look for, something. Let's say I tell you, hey, have you read my paper from, I forget what year it was, 2007, 2008, somewhere like that. I did a survey of forensically important insects in Santa Clara County. So you don't know the full title. Maybe you're talking to somebody who, remembers vaguely a paper that they want you to read. So if you know the general year range, and if you know the author, you can also do a search. So in this case, I would put in, pull this out so you can see a little bit better. I would put in my last name or the last name of the author, Brundage, and let's say it was it blowflies in Santa Clara County. You want to put in enough information into the search bar that it'll help you really pick out the correct ones. Survey, that sounds good. Now, you can search by year. So it can be anytime. It can be since 2021, 2020, or a custom range. So I said it was somewhere around 2007, 2008, I think, So let's do 2006 to 2012 just to be safe. Now this is, you notice a whole bunch have come up because there are fewer things going on here. Let's see, what did I say? Survey, Santa. Because there's fewer words fewer exact words that I put in the search bar, I get a whole bunch of things kicked back. So it's searching for all of these things. But when you use Google Scholar, you can use those same little tips and tricks for Googling things, where if you want to put up quotes to search for exact word order, you can, all that sort of stuff. But notice right at the top here, hey, there's one. Hey, Brundage. Oh, it was 2011, not 2007, 2008. Interesting. That's why the range is always good. And then seasonal habitat abundance distribution, some forensically important blowflies in Central California. There we go. So what this does is it also looks at the abstract and other stuff. So again, I can click on that link. You can download the PDF. If you go back here, you can see there's a whole bunch of different versions of this. These are all the different databases and citations and places where this particular thing is located. Now, if you go over to the side here, if you ever see this PDF with a link, that means that this is where you can get the PDF for free. So this particular PDF right here, this is actually on one of my websites. This is another quick clue. Once you leave the university, if you can't find an article, find the author and email them. They're usually really happy just to send you the PDF. So anyhow, that's how you can use Google Scholar. Now let's try this same method over here on the library website. So again, Brundage Survey Santa Clara County, where it came up. Yeah, and we got one. Okay, so that works really well. You can also, if you take away my last name, you can do a search just for the title. Now, this does allow you to add different fields and things. Now, notice that in this case, since it was just a survey of Santa Clara County, I didn't input any insects or anything like that. I got, a whole bunch of different things coming up. So that shows you need to be as specific as possible when going through this library website, or really any website. But you can do a search specifically for an author, for title, for subject terms, for searching in the abstract, etc. right there. So if you have the full title, the author, the everything like that, it's actually pretty easy to find. You can also, if you have the name of the journal, you could do a search for the journal. Let's say I wanted to find this particular one, this effective body length, and I see it's in the Journal of Insect Physiology. So we can do Journal of Insect Physiology here and see what comes up. There is a way to pull it up, this particular journal, by going to different databases, but I find that's just a lot of clicking, and honestly, this is easiest. So if you just click on this Journal of Insect Physiology, hey, there it is. Now it'll tell you if we've got access to this sort of thing, and it'll usually give you a link directly to that journal's website. if we have access. That's what this Find Text at TAMU little link is all about. So right there. If you have a Find Text at TAMU, it'll give you the link to that to the journal. And you can see here it says register sign in, brought to you by Texas A&M University Libraries. Because I got to this front page by going through the library database, through the library website, I will automatically be logged in, and I should be able to download whatever papers I want. So this is super useful if you know the journal it was in, but you're not quite sure the title or whatever else. So in this case, let's go back. This was in 54.3, so it's volume 54 or issue 54, volume 3, whatever it is, and then the year 2008. So then you can look for different journals. And it does, you can sort of click around here, but you can look for, let's see, the journal of, what year was this? So here we're on volume 129. So you can view all the issues here. So we're looking for what, volume 58? 54. Immediately forget everything. And so you can go, there's 59, 54. There we go, 2008. It was issue 3. And it'll give you that full issue. So then you can look through things. Oh, there it is. The effect of body length and temperature on crawling speed. And you can download it. And it says the download because, again, I logged in through, or I found this through the Texas A&M library. So I'm automatically logged in. This, depending on the journal, and how you're logged in. I'm usually logged into A&M, so I have that. But depending on how this works, you may not have automatic access to this. Again, just go to the library, do a search for this title, and you should find it. So that's how you find all these articles based on information. Let me know if you have any questions.